Hi guys, so as promised, I told you that I was going to be making some videos and some instructional things. Um, the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted to demonstrate some really practical uses for essential oils, just to show you the versatility of them and demonstrate how they pay for themselves over and over again. The first way I got involved with essential oils was actually with cleaning products and some household goods because I have really bad allergies. A lot of the synthetic things in a lot of cleaning products really irritated my allergies. So I started using them in this way and realized how cost effective it was, in addition to environmentally friendly, because we're using the same bottles over and over again, and we're not having to recycle anything. So using the energy at recycling plants is actually not that green either. So anyway, the first thing that I wanted to show you was hand sanitizer. And I'm doing this in a video instead of a blog post because I wanted to show you how easy it really is to make these things. And sometimes when we read them, we don't believe how easy it is. But if you see it, then you'll see how easy it is. So anyway, the first thing is a hand sanitizer. Very easy to make, very simple. All you need are some essential oils, and I'll go over which ones to use in just a second. Some amber glass mister bottles, and you do want them to be amber or cobalt or some sort of color, and glass, because sun exposure can break down the essential oil over time, and you want it to be glass because essential oils break down toxins, and so if you put it in a plastic container, over time the toxins will bleed into your product. So you can get them in various sizes. The sizes that I have here, I have a 1 ounce and a 2 ounce mister bottle. In the section below the video, I'll post some places where you can buy them. You can buy them through a Mayo or other essential oil companies. Through a Mayo, you actually will get recipe cards and labels with them, which is really nice, but it is a little bit more expensive. So I'll post some other places where you can purchase them as well. So outside of the essential oils and the mister bottles, you really only need two other products. The first one being some aloe vera gel. And you want to get as close to 100% as possible. Now, when I say aloe vera gel, I don't mean this stuff. This is not aloe vera gel. This is fake and doesn't really have a whole lot of actual aloe vera in it. And you have to be careful because some of them advertise as 100% gel, but they don't really have 100% aloe in them. And you can really gauge that if you look at the ingredients. I have 99% aloe vera. It does have some other things, but it's just mainly vitamins and a couple of preservatives. It's very difficult to find something truly aloe vera unless you're right out there getting your plant. But I like Lily of the Desert. They seem to be really good, and so I have a 99%. The other thing that you need is distilled water. You do want to use distilled water instead of regular water because the minerals in regular water break down the essential oils faster. So if you're not using it within like a week, which you probably won't use it all within a week, you're going to want distilled water so that it doesn't break down the oil. So anyway, when you're choosing your essential oils to use in it, outside of just the brand, again, I'm a fan of a Mayo because I like the research behind it and that they show all of the testing that you do. You can look at it for each oil. But besides that, you can use single oils or blends. You just want to make sure you're using oils with cleansing properties. Now, most oils actually have a lot of cleansing properties in them, but there are some in particular that are better. There are three blends that can really be used in your hand sanitizer. A protecting blend, a purifying blend, and a respiratory blend. They all have cleansing oils in them. A Mayo's version, their protecting blend is called Pro Shield, purifying blend is Pure V, and their respiratory blend is Soothing Air. I typically don't use the respiratory blend in there just because it has so much eucalyptus in it, and I have a kid, and so I try to avoid using that type of oil on my young son, but it has a lot of powerful cleansing properties in it. So I typically prefer to use Pro Shield, their protecting blend, just because it's really easy. And I really like the smell of it, and it's super powerful in its cleansing properties. The benefit to using a blend is that it already has, especially the purifying and the protecting blend, is they're basically meant to cleanse. That's what they're designed for. So all of those oils in there, you know you've made a good choice, and you don't have to mix the oils. So you're not having to choose them out. They're all ready to go for you. So you only have to use one oil to put them in there. The kind of the con to that is that you are using up a little bit more of one oil than you are if you were using multiple singles. So I tend to mix it. For my smaller, I'll use my protecting blend. For my larger bottle, I'll mix the oils myself. So it really just depends. So some other oils that I suggest as far as the single oils, really any citrus oil is going to be great. They have amazing cleansing properties. Lemongrass has some really powerful cleansing properties. I'm not a really big fan of the smell of lemongrass, so I avoid it myself. So the other thing you want to consider is, do you enjoy the smell of it? Do you want it on your hands? If not, then you probably don't want to put it in there. Both of the types of eucalyptus are powerful cleansers. Peppermint, lavender, tea tree, clove, and cinnamon are also very powerful cleansing essential oils. Now there are more, like some of the oils like oregano and thyme have powerful cleansing properties, but they're very strong and not very pleasant smelling. So I don't necessarily suggest putting them in any cleaning product. So what I typically do is I actually always will use my protecting blend. And when I mix oils on my own, I always want to include either clove or cinnamon because they're extremely powerful cleansing properties. Cinnamon is a little bit more expensive, so I tend to go with clove. So, and then from there, I personally use lemon, lavender, and tea tree. Those are the four that I use in my blend that I make in my hand sanitizer when I don't use protecting blend or purifying blend. So I'm going to make a 1 ounce hand sanitizer, and so I will be using the protecting blend. So when you make your hand sanitizer, you'll have an empty bottle, and the first thing you're going to do is fill up the bottle halfway with distilled water. And so typically you would have a funnel or something like that, but I'm too lazy to buy one, and so I just try to be as careful as I can. Okay. So that's about halfway full of distilled water. And from there, I'm going to fill it with my chosen oil. So this time I'm going to be using my protecting blend, so I'm going to be making a Pro Shield hand sanitizer. So when you put the oils in, you're going to want about 16 drops per ounce. So these Mr. bottles come in different sizes. I would suggest either a ½ ounce, 1 ounce, or a 2 ounce when you're doing hand sanitizer. So for my 1 ounce, I'm going to do 16 drops of my protecting blend. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so there's my 16 drops. Now, if I was using my own, I would just do 4 of each. So I try to keep it to about 4. You can use 2. You can actually mix single oils with the blends, but why? You already have a blend. Okay, so you have your oils and you have your water in there. From here, you're going to slowly add your aloe. And I do it a little at a time because you don't want it to get too thick. So I'll add a little, I'll push it down, and then I'll shake it up because you want it to make sure it's still a little liquidy, because if you don't, then it won't go through the spray nozzle. So I've added a little bit. Okay. And that's actually, I can add a little bit more, so it's safe to continue adding more. And continue to add, and look, if it's still looking pretty liquidy, you can keep adding. So at that, I'm probably going to mix it up a little bit. So I just close it and shake, and yep, it can definitely use some more. And this is your own judgment. So it really depends on how cold or warm your climate is as to whether something's going to stay really liquidy or not. It's pretty hot here in Arizona, so judge based on your own climate. Okay, this is where it starts to get tricky. When it starts to get up close to the top, this is where I really want to test how much liquid is in it. Okay. And this is actually probably as far as I will go, because once you put the actual mister tap in it, it starts to fill it up a little bit more. So as you can see, it's still a little bit runny, or hopefully you can see. If not, you should be able to let it freely go back and forth and see it go when you turn it. If it's not at that point and it's too thick to do that, you're just going to add a little bit more water. But anyways, that's it. That's how you make hand sanitizer. Super easy. So again, fill it halfway with distilled water. Add the amount of oils depending on your size. For 1 ounce, 16. For a 2 ounce, 32, etc. Put it in. Fill the rest of the way up to with aloe to the desired thickness. Close it. Shake it up. Shake it up in between each use, and then when it's time to apply, spray. Clean hands. So, and I will actually take it with me, and I will use it on, I have a toddler, so when we go shopping, I'll spray it on his cart, on the shopping cart to make sure it's clean, so that we can make sure that, he's not picking anything up. So anyways, amazing cleansing properties in essential oils. I'm going to post links for where you can get your essential oils and where you can get some of these mister bottles. Go to your nearest health food store and you can find some better quality aloe gels and water from the store. Seriously, that easy. So stay tuned for the next one that'll be coming up that will talk about some all